Welcome to Core Concept HQ, where big ideas are simplified. Today's book summary is Become Time Rich by Lloyd J. Ross.
And that title, Become Time Rich, it's not just a catchy phrase, is it? It really gets to the heart of a mission for, I think, a lot of us who are caught in this modern trap of feeling, successful on paper, but just completely poor when it comes to time.
Completely. We're diving into a guide that's really designed to challenge what the author calls the busy badge.
Ah, the busy badge.
Yeah, you know that person. The one who, when you ask how they are, the answer is always, I'm busy. They wear that constant state of work and toil as a sign of their own self-worth.
It's a status symbol. Ross argues that this misplaced value on just being busy is the single biggest thing leading to financial stress and, frankly, chaos in our lives.
It's the core issue. And the book's premise is that wealth and busyness, they're not partners. They're actually, more often than not, at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Right, because if you want leverage, you have to step away from doing everything yourself, from the constant manual effort. And this isn't even a new idea. He brings in John D. Rockefeller, who famously said,
Oh, this quote is brilliant.
"He who works all day has no time to make money."
And that just clarifies it instantly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It forces you to see the difference between just activity and real leverage.
Exactly. If you're working all day, you're just doing tasks, you're not thinking strategically, you're not deploying capital or systems, you've basically capped your own ability to scale.
So the promise of the book is pretty big. It lays out what he calls the 4 time-rich laws. And if you apply them, they offer a real path to get past that constant feeling of overwhelm.
It's a roadmap. It's a roadmap to building a life where you have a predictable flow of money and free time, which is, the dream for so many people.
And what I find so compelling is the author's own story. This isn't just theory. Ross is writing this as someone who's actually achieved it. His success didn't come from just one thing, but from applying leverage across, a whole bunch of different ventures.
Yeah, like network marketing, an online education business, public speaking. He manages a multi-million-dollar equity portfolio, a podcast.
And he does all this while, as he mentions, taking a 3-week trip to Cancun.
Right, and he's very clear. This didn't happen by magic or luck. It came from a very specific, strategic decision he made years ago, which was simply to own his time, to treat time as his most valuable asset.
And that's the roadmap we're here to unpack for you today. So who is this deep dive really for?
Well, obviously, if you want to get high-value knowledge quickly, this is for you. But more than that, it's for anyone who's struggling with money. But the root cause isn't really the money itself.
It's the time.
It's the time. It's the anxiety, the procrastination, the overwhelm that comes from not managing your time. That's what's holding you back financially.
It's also for that person who knows, intellectually, that time is their most valuable thing, but they still constantly choose money over it.
The classic example, trading all your hours in a job you hate just for that feeling of financial security. You're putting money first and time second. Every single day.
He talks about getting to a state of psychological unemployability, which is a concept from Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Workweek.
I love that phrase.
It's great, isn't it? It's where you've engineered your life with so much leverage and control that the idea of going back to a normal 9-to-5 job, trading your time for money, just becomes psychologically impossible. You're the one in charge of your own agenda.
And that's why this matters so much. We have to get the hierarchy right. True wealth is only possible when time is greater than money. If you keep it the other way around with money over time, you're stuck. You're trapped chasing the next paycheck forever.
And this is such a huge cultural commentary. If you look back, Thorstein Veblen's leisure class from the 19th century, well, the truly wealthy used leisure to show their status.
Right. They actively avoided visible work. But that completely flipped, didn't it? Sometime after the 60s, we started to celebrate the hustler.
Yeah, the new image of success became the overworked Wall Street banker, burning the midnight oil. And now that hustle culture is everywhere. It's made exhaustion seem like a virtue. It's a really toxic way to think.
It's a trap. It confuses effort with results. I think Naval Ravikant said it best when he pointed out that if someone else tells you when to be at work, what to wear, and how to act,
you are not a free person. You're not really rich.
Exactly. The whole point here is to scale your time first, because that time leverage is what gives you the foundation to then scale your wealth.
Okay, let's unpack this. We should start by looking at the 2 mindsets he describes, the time poor versus the time rich. And then we can get into the 4 laws that turn that mindset into reality.
Sounds good.
So let's start with the time poor mindset. This person is basically living passively. They're like a sponge, just soaking up whatever the world throws at them.
Yeah, they let everything else dictate their life. Emails, social media notifications, their boss's demands, what society expects of them. They're just reacting all day long.
And because they're always reacting, they lack any real clarity on what they're trying to achieve. They waste so much time on things that don't move them toward their own dreams.
Often because they haven't even defined what those dreams are, so they end up, without even knowing it, working towards someone else's definite purpose.
And they say yes to everything, every invitation, every request for a favor. They let other people pull their strings. And the worst part is they dismiss their own big ambitions as being impossible.
Because I don't have the time.
Exactly. The busy badge becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
And there's another huge obstacle here, something Ross calls technophobia. This is the paralyzing belief that you have to be tech savvy to use software and systems.
Right, this idea that automation is for other people.
And it forces them to do all this heavy lifting manually for tasks that, frankly, an app could do in seconds. They're sabotaging their own chance at leverage.
Okay, so on the flip side, we have the time-rich mindset. This is all about being intentional.
Yes, they're not just reacting to the world, they're confronting it head-on with a purpose. They're actively shaping and designing their lives.
And they do this by creating a mental map, what he calls a mind movie, of the life they want 5 or 10 years from now.
And this isn't just, a daydream. It's a real tool. It acts as a constant source of motivation. It gives you the courage you need to do the hard things like setting boundaries or taking a big risk.
They just get it. They understand that financial freedom doesn't come from grinding harder. It comes from using time more efficiently and multiplying it.
And you have to have this mindset before you get the wealth. Look at Warren Buffett. Today, his time is valued at something like $5 million an hour.
Incredible.
But this fierce protection of his time, saying no to meetings, keeping his calendar simple, spending hours just reading, that didn't start when he became a billionaire. He did that from the very beginning.
That's the key insight, isn't it? He protected his time when he was just starting out, because he knew that deep strategic thinking needs uninterrupted space.
For sure, he knew he had to bake delegation and automation into his approach early. Time-rich people don't wait to be rich to act this way. They start today by finding ways to buy back their time.
And how do they do that?
By deploying people, systems, and capital to do the work for them.
Which leads us perfectly into the 4 time rich laws. This is the practical framework for making that shift happen.
Yeah, this is the how-to.
So we start with law number 1, the law of definite purpose. The idea here is that if you're struggling with time management, it's usually just a symptom. The real problem is a lack of clarity about where you're going.
Exactly. This law is all about creating that vivid mental map of the life you want to live. That map becomes your motivation, and it focuses your time like a laser.
It's the ultimate filter for your decisions. I think it was James Clear who said, if you commit to nothing, you'll be distracted by everything.
And that's it. Your definite purpose is your commitment. If something doesn't serve that purpose, it's a distraction, period, no matter how urgent or shiny it looks.
And this has been proven to work throughout history. Ross gives the example of Bruce Lee. In 1969, he wrote down this thing called My Definite Chief Aim.
Yeah, it was a single paragraph where he set the goal to be the first Oriental superstar and earn $10 million. That kind of clarity is like a GPS for your career.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger did something similar. His first definite purpose was basically just to emulate his hero, the bodybuilder Reg Park. He had a very specific model for success he was aiming for.
And the author's own story backs this up. He wrote down his purpose, a liquid net worth of $1 million, and the freedom to work online while traveling.
And he achieved it 8 years later.
Right. Because once you embed that vision deep into your subconscious, every decision you make starts to naturally filter out the things that don't align with it.
So how do we actually cultivate this? He gives 5 tactics. The first is to listen to the whisper.
I like that. It means tuning into that quiet, internal voice, your intuition that's often pointing you down a path, even if it doesn't seem rational.
Second, experiment. He says you should flirt with different possibilities, like dating, before you marry a definite purpose that really feels right.
That takes the pressure off. Third, choose a role model. Find someone whose values and career you really admire and use them as a guide.
Fourth is use assessments. This is about practical self-awareness. Do a DISC profile or some other personality test to figure out your natural strengths. The author found out he was strong in teaching, which guided his purpose.
And the last one is the big one. Take bold action by using the deathbed test.
This is powerful.
Yeah. Imagine you're 90 years old on your deathbed, and you ask yourself, Will I regret not taking this leap I'm thinking about right now? The pain of that future regret is almost always worse than the discomfort of taking action today.
That idea of avoiding regret is the perfect bridge to law number 2, the law of elimination. If law 1 is about what to build, law 2 is about what you need to tear down to make space.
Exactly. It's all about subtraction, not addition. We think success is about accumulating more, but Ross says it's like sculpting. Michelangelo created David by removing everything that wasn't David.
We have to remove the non-essential things from our lives. The best example he gives for this is the 5 out of 25 rule from Warren Buffett.
Oh, this one is brutal, but so effective. He apparently told his pilot, Mike Flint, to list his top 25 career goals.
Right, and then circle the top 5.
And here's the crucial part. He told him to avoid the other 20 at all costs.
And that's the part that's so hard, because those other 20 are probably good goals.
They're great goals, but they are distractions masquerading as opportunities. They suck up just enough of your time and energy to keep you from going all in on the top 5.
And this idea runs right into our own psychological barriers, like identity attachment. Ross tells his story about trying to quit the CFA exam.
For context, the CFA is a huge deal in finance, a multi-year, thousands of hours commitment. He'd already put in 5 years and over 2,000 hours.
So his brain is just screaming at him, successful people don't quit. He's attached to that identity.
But he realized it just didn't serve his new definite purpose, which was building a scalable online business.
No.
So he quit. And that freed up a massive amount of time and mental space, and his online business took off.
It's a masterclass in ignoring sunk costs. And elimination often takes what he calls the courage to be disliked. He was so worried about telling his dad he was leaving the family property business.
He thought he'd be a disappointment or that the business would fail. But ironically, after he left, the business actually boomed. His departure forced his father to make a strategic change that was long overdue.
So to filter new things coming in, we need to use the hell yes or no filter.
Popularized by Derek Sivers. If a new opportunity doesn't make you feel a resounding hell yes, then it's an automatic no.
No, we should probably add a little nuance here. You can't just say hell no to your boss about a critical report or, paying your taxes.
Right. This filter is mainly for your discretionary commitments. New projects, social invites, requests for your time that aren't part of your core obligations and don't serve your definite purpose.
That's a great clarification. But elimination isn't just about commitments. It's also about physical stuff.
Possessions are hidden obligations. A vacation home, a second car. They all come with future maintenance, repairs, costs, and guilt if you don't use them. As Churchill said, we shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us.
And there's a mental cost, too. Our brains only have so much decision-making energy each day. Every single thing you own requires future decisions. Where do I put it? Should I fix it? Should I sell it?
It's why Mark Zuckerberg wears the same shirt every day. He's eliminating one low-value decision to save that brain power for things that actually matter.
The tactic here is so simple. Sell your junk on Facebook Marketplace.
And take that money and immediately invest it into a cash-producing asset, like an index fund. Find $500 worth of stuff you don't need. That can be the seed money for your time-rich future.
Okay, so we've found our purpose with Law 1, and we've cleared the clutter with Law 2. Now we get to Law 3, the law of leverage. This is the accelerator.
This is where you get exponential returns, and it breaks down into 3 types: people leverage, systems leverage, and capital leverage.
Let's start with people leverage. Delegation and partnerships. This is where so many of us get stuck.
For sure. We don't want to delegate because we think we're burdening other people, or we have that ego-driven belief that, no one can do it as well as I can.
But Ross points out that delegation is actually a win-win. His mentor told him, my delegation is your personal development.
That's a great reframe. You're giving someone else a chance to grow and learn while you're getting back your most valuable asset, your time.
It's about strategic competence. Henry Ford didn't need to know everything because he could just push a button and summon an expert. Richard Branson built an airline without being a pilot.
Success is a team sport. It really is. So Ross gives 4 tactics to master delegation. The first one is absolutely critical. Determine your hourly rate.
This is your outsourcing threshold.
Right. Take your annual salary, divide it by 52 weeks, and then divide that by 20 hours. He uses 20 hours as a baseline for focused, high-value work time.
So let's say your rate comes out to $100 an hour. Then paying someone $75 an hour to do your admin or build your IKEA furniture is a no-brainer.
It's a smart financial move. You're spending $75 to free up an hour of your time that you can use to generate way more than $100 in value. You're literally buying back time at a profit.
Tactic 2. Become strategically incompetent.
I love this. It means you identify your genius, the thing you're great at and actually love doing, and you delegate everything else, even if you're good at it. If bookkeeping makes you miserable, outsource it.
Third, use the 3 lists. You categorize tasks into can't do, shouldn't do, which are the tasks below your hourly rate and don't want to do, and you just outsource everything you check off.
And fourth, this is the key to scaling. Do, document, delegate. You do a task one time to understand it, then you document the process step by step, creating a little training module, and then you hand it off.
That documentation part is what makes it scalable. It ensures you get predictable results without having to constantly look over someone's shoulder.
Right. Now, beyond delegation, the highest form of people leverage is partnerships. Ross calls this time alchemy.
This is about finding the who for the who. Finding someone who already has the resources you lack.
Exactly. It's a win-win where you bring different things to the table. Money, time, skills, network. In his business, Ross brought the financial knowledge and capital, and his partner brought the time and the tech skills to build all the online systems.
Neither one could have done it alone.
No way. Or his network marketing business. He partnered with a huge company that handled all the manufacturing, shipping, and tech. All he had to do was focus on marketing.
He built a 7-figure business with basically a 2-person team. That's insane leverage.
And the final partner for all of us is passive investing. When you buy an index fund from Vanguard, you're partnering with the best financial minds in the world to manage your money 24/7.
Such a great way to think about it. And it leads us right into the second type of leverage, systems leverage.
Right. The acronym says it all. System. Save yourself time, energy, and money.
A system is just a predictable, repeatable process that gets a result without you having to be there.
Yeah.
But he makes a key distinction. You have to start with soft systems before you can use hard systems.
Yes. A soft system is the process itself, like Ray Kroc's detailed steps for making a McDonald's hamburger. A hard system is the technology, the software, the app. You can't automate a process that's chaotic and unpredictable. You need the soft system first.
And when you get it right, the results are just incredible. In his property business, they set up an automatic dialing system.
A hard system.
And their call volume went from 1,000 a day to 18,000 a day.
18 times the output. Not by hiring 17 more people, but just by applying one piece of technology to a clear process. That's how the rich clone themselves.
And we have to get over that technophobia. Smart people design these systems to be user-friendly. You can learn anything on YouTube.
For sure. The barrier to entry has never been lower. So he gives a few examples of a good, time-rich tech stack. First up is ChatGPT.
Which is basically like having a multilingual genius assistant on call 24/7.
Right. It can draft your sales copy. It can review a basic contract. It can write simple code. It handles all those complex admin tasks instantly.
Then you have social media, which is the most powerful, low-cost advertising tool in history. You can build a global brand from your phone.
And even simple things like Zoom. Moving from a culture of coffee dates to online meetings saves hundreds of hours in travel time over a year.
And finally, things like Spotify for podcasters. He ran an award-winning show with thousands of downloads using just his phone, a cheap mic, and a free app. The tech is simple if the system is clear.
Which brings us to the final piece of the leverage puzzle, capital leverage. This is where you use your money to buy or build assets that generate enough income to cover your expenses. That's the definition of financial freedom.
It's the classic advice from Robert Kiyosaki. You have to buy assets because assets make money for you, which breaks the link between your time and your income.
The strategy he lays out is to use some capital to build small businesses that can run on their own through people and systems. Then you take a percentage of the profits from those businesses and you put it into a passive investment portfolio, like stocks and index funds.
And he prefers stocks over real estate for a lot of people trying to be time rich.
Yeah, because the barrier to entry is way lower. They require almost zero time to manage if you're using index funds, and they provide consistent cash flow through dividends.
He tells a story about his portfolio jumping by $60,000 overnight while he was asleep.
And that's it right there. That's money working for you around the clock, buying back every minute of your future. Investing for cash flow is what makes you time rich.
Okay, that was a deep dive on leverage. This brings us to the final law, Law 4, the law of priority and boundaries.
This is what holds it all together. It's about consciously avoiding just being busy and instead focusing only on the high-value tasks that create leverage and move you towards your definite purpose.
Because if you feel busy all the time but you're not making exponential progress, you're probably just doing the wrong things. The first tool for this is the Eisenhower method.
The classic matrix. You categorize every task based on whether it's urgent or important.
This gives you 4 boxes. Do now for things that are urgent and important. Schedule for things that are important but not urgent. This is where your deep work lives.
Then delegate for things that are urgent but not important. This is a huge time suck for most people. And finally, delete for anything that's neither urgent nor important.
The real secret to the Eisenhower matrix is protecting that schedule quadrant.
Absolutely. Those are the things like planning, learning, and exercise that, if you ignore them, they eventually become urgent fires you have to put out.
For day-to-day work, he recommends the Ivy Lee method. It's over 100 years old, but it's brilliant.
It's so simple. At the end of each day, you write down the 6 most important tasks for tomorrow. You prioritize them 1 through 6, and then you work only on task number 1 until it's finished. And then you move to number 2.
And whatever you don't finish gets moved to the next day's list. It forces single tasking and fights that feeling of being overwhelmed by a giant to-do list.
Then you can combine that with a focus funnel. For any task you ask, can I eliminate it? Can I automate it? Can I delegate it?
And if the answer is no to all 3, then you ask, should I concentrate on it? Does it serve my definite purpose? If yes, you do it. If no, you get rid of it.
And none of this works without the second half of this law, setting boundaries. He quotes John Mark Comer's work on the ruthless elimination of hurry.
Yeah, the point that hurry just leads to stress and anxiety. He says, love and hurry cannot reside together. And if you're always accessible, you just train people to be dependent on you.
The tactic to fight this is to be easy to find, hard to ouch.
A concept from Cody Sanchez. It means you put your value out into the world through your content and systems, but you protect your personal time fiercely.
Practically, that means no notifications on your phone. It means you only take calls from family and everyone else has to text or email. You batch your responses.
And finally, you delegate to your diary. Your calendar is your boss. If it's not scheduled, your deep work, your gym time, your family time, it won't happen. It'll get pushed aside by someone else's emergency.
You also have to manage your energy, not just your time. Track your energy peaks during the day. Do your most important high-leverage work when your energy is highest. Save the admin and emails for when you're in a slump.
Okay, that's the whole framework. I think we should distill this down to the absolute top takeaways, the checklist to get started today.
Good idea. But before we list them, it's worth repeating. None of this is a secret. The difference between the time poor and the time rich is just the consistent application of these laws.
Okay, takeaway number 1. Define your time-rich vision. Write a 1-paragraph essay describing your ideal life in 5 to 10 years. That's your definite purpose, your shield against distractions.
2. Determine your outsourcing threshold. Calculate your hourly rate. Use that number as a hard rule to delegate any task that costs less than that rate. Start buying back your time.
3. Filter commitments ruthlessly. Use the hell yes or no principle for every new opportunity. If it's not an overwhelming yes that serves your purpose, it's a no.
4. Create your dominant list. Use the Ivy Lee method. Limit your focus to just 6 tasks a day and make sure at least 2 of them are leverage-generating activities, eliminating, automating, or delegating something.
5. Build a system of assets. Take the money you would have spent on a consumer good and invest it in something that produces cash flow. A stock, an index fund. Start with $10 if you have to.
6. Form strategic partnerships. Actively look for people whose skills or resources complement yours. Create win-win collaborations to scale faster than you ever could alone.
7. Automate your admin life. Use tools like ChatGPT, Calendly for scheduling, or even just a grocery delivery service to permanently remove low-value, repeatable tasks from your life.
8. Practice, do, document, delegate. Anytime you want to hand off a recurring task, do it once, document every single step, and then use that document to train someone else.
And finally, number 9, protect your focus. Be easy to find, but hard to reach. Turn off your notifications. Let your calendar be your gatekeeper. If it's not scheduled, it doesn't happen.
So there you have it, the full roadmap from the 4 time rich laws, the old idea that busyness is a virtue. That's the path to overwhelm and dependence.
You have to embrace the idea of achieving more by doing less. Get out of the daily grind and start building the life you've actually envisioned.
If you really apply these laws and you put your time as a higher priority than your money, you will find you have more freedom, more flexibility, and ultimately more wealth than you ever thought was possible.
The principles are out there for everyone. It's the implementation that's the secret.
So maybe the question to leave you with is this. What's one small task, something that falls below your calculated hourly rate that you are going to delegate or eliminate today to immediately buy back 1 hour of your life? Start right there and just watch the leverage begin to compound.